Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name is Clayts. This is Clayts FM. It's been a while since we uploaded a video here, so here we are because I'm excited about FM21. That's right, Football Manager 2021 is out this month. We've made it to November, which means excitement is building. And if you're like me, one of the things you look out for when a new game comes around is the player faces. Those regen / new gen player faces. It's always like, what are they going to look like this year? Because we've had some brilliant faces over the years and we've had some not so brilliant faces over the years. And a couple of weeks ago, Miles did tweet out, Miles Jacobson off of SI, tweeted out a little tweet that did showcase some of the brand new player faces that would be featured in this year's game. And it got me thinking, it got me wanting to take a little trip down memory lane, and it made me pretty excited about this year's game. I cannot wait to get my hands on it and get stuck in with the first save of Football Manager 2021. By the way, comments down below, who is going to be your first save of the new game? I've got my ideas and all will be revealed soon, and how it's going to work between Twitch and YouTube. But anyway, that's personal stuff. Let's have a look at the player faces for FM21. So with the help of a few friends, I've actually managed to source screenshots all the way back to FM09 of the generated player faces, those new gens, those regens. I'm being really careful to not just call them regens, as is habit. However, you know, I think you understand what I mean. If I call them a regen during this video, do not lynch me. Thanks. So yeah, I've got screenshots all the way back to FM09 of the different player faces. And if we start there, you can see there, they didn't look too bad. That is over 10 years ago now. And the player faces, I mean, they've not changed significantly. However, one thing to point out is back in 2009, this was before I think player faces went to become 3D models. These were 2D, meaning that they could look pretty good. At some point during Football Manager's development, they went from being 2D representations of a person's face to 3D, meaning that actually if you were able to zoom right into a player's face in the match engine, it would match up with the face that you see on their player profile screens. How useful that is, I'm not so sure. However, you do kind of want it to be the case. You want it, synergy across everything is kind of what you're aiming for. Into FM10, you can see the players here. They look a lot smaller, actually, the player faces in FM10. Archie right there doesn't look too bad. He has a hairdo that I recognise a lot of my regens back then having. You see Lee Roberts there, he's got a nice spiky hair. Maybe that reflects the time. In 2010, I think I probably did have my hair gelled up. Was gel a thing in 2010? I'm not sure. FM11, you see Steve Lancaster there. I mean, that is a face that I recognise. That's a weird thing. It's a computer-generated face, but I seem to recognise him. Into FM12, you've got Joe Thorley there for Hereford. Again, he looks kind of old. I mean, he is old. He's 39. So you've got the aging of the regens faces there, which I remember things did start to change and they changed their looks as they got older. You had beards growing and beards not growing. I mean, we can look at the FM18 thing where you had massive beards on 16-year-olds. That always seems to be a thing that might happen. FM13, there's Imaz. Again, the player face is not too dissimilar to the previous years, but there are some changes in there. They do kind of vary. Stefan Rahn there, looking like a 16-year-old at 16, which I think is a nice touch. FM14, Chris right there with the long hair. You've got Selwyn Jacobs. The hair on Selwyn Jacobs here, the kind of dreads there, they look great in that year's game. Ugo Cerez with the bald head there, and then Phil Lambert at the end. Player faces, I think here look pretty good. That is looking quite realistic for me. FM15, a little bit bigger on our screens here. Ivan Enriquez, I think looks quite good there. The hair doesn't look too real, but he looks all right. And then you get into Jefferson. I mean, the hair on Jefferson is a bit mental as we move into FM15 here. I'm not so sure about that one. And that became a little bit of a trend through these years. As you go into FM16, you see Henry Cruz there in FM16 looking quite manic. I mean, he's a very good player, as you see by his attributes there, but he looks a little bit crazy. And then the other face is this Richard Jurgens, who you start to see him as the player models that you started to see in the 3D match engine. They were quite wide set. I played a game on FM19 not that long ago, about a week ago, and I realised how big the player models seem to be. Much chunkier than their FM20 friends. And then we go into FM17, and I think they start to lose a little bit of their realism here. Moise Londre here, this Porto player, I'm not sure he looks all that human. He looks a bit scary. The forehead is massive. I'm not sure how human he looks. I think this may have been when they were pushing towards those 3D faces. Likewise with Alistair Rattray, I think you can see it's 3D. I'm not sure how real he looks though. And into 18, that looks like a waxwork model. I think you could honestly say that just for these player profile pictures, the faces may have been getting a little bit worse. And I do understand why that might have happened, as I tried to explain before. But that looks like a waxwork. He belongs in House of Wax. As does Ryan Adams, who honestly looks like he is wearing makeup. I'm not judging him for wearing makeup, but he does look like he's wearing it. And then more recently, you go to FM19 and the faces become almost cartoon-like here. Drago Marinovic here that I show you, that doesn't look like a real human. And Jared Spence too, they had a real distinct sort of artistic quality to them in FM19. Not sure they look particularly real. I think they were improved as you go into FM20, the current game that's out at the moment. If I show you them now, I think this is an improvement. However, those kind of deep set eyes, they kind of look a little bit strange, as well as the players, I don't think they look particularly different to each other. That's why I'm so hopeful for FM21 and what the player faces are going to look this time around. And you can really notice how the players have changed over the years. That's why I look forward to every year seeing what are the player faces going to be this year. Here's the tweet that Miles did tweet out with the player faces for FM21. They look pretty good, I think. They are definitely an improvement on last year's faces. You see, they seem to be almost facing different ways as well. And I've seen in a few screenshots, they seem to be able to turn their heads and be facing different ways for different conversations, which I think is a really nice touch. They look realistic. The hair looks improved. They go alongside, I don't know if you saw Miles's tweet where he talked about the manager photos being much improved and the 3D mapping where you make your own face in the game and everything. That looks way better. I think there is much to be excited about with these regen/new gen faces. I think they look much improved and they look realistic, which is the thing we want. We want to get to know these characters. We want to learn about them. We want to make our own stories for all these players in our saves. We want them to be as if they are real, which I think they look great. Obviously, there are probably still things that could be worked on. And obviously this is only a tiny, minute sample, but I think there's definite room for optimism there. And we can be, you know, hopeful going forwards that we can get some really nice regen/new gen faces in this year's game. Let me know what you think down in the comments and I'll be ready to go with another video very soon. But as I said also earlier on, keep an eye out for what my plans are for FM21. Thank you so much for watching. If you aren't already subscribed to the channel, please make sure you do so. That would help me out a lot. Also give the video a like. That would be beautiful too. I'll catch you very soon. Have a lovely rest of your day. See you later. Bye-bye.